Welcome back to Kidsplaining. I'm Jared, and this is my dad.
And today we're reviewing Role Player from Thunderworks Games.
Role Player is one of my favorite games. No, it is my favorite game.
Yep, I'm just gonna be here. So, Jared, tell us about Role Player.
In Role Player, you are trying to make the best warrior to go on big adventures, fight monsters, and basically do cool warrior stuff. And in Role Player, you are going to be drawing dice out of this dice bag and putting them on these cards after you roll them. You would put them on the cards just like that.
Yeah,
not in this color.
Smallest to largest.
And if there's tied, just put them however you want.
Randomly. Yep.
And then players take what they want. In this case, like if I take the one, then since I'm the lowest, I get to choose first. So I get to choose one of these cards to do, and that's basically what you're doing. You're taking cards and building your warrior. You start with these few cards on this end, a few dice.
Okay.
And you do that and place the dice on this board. When you place them somewhere, you do these specific actions. And if I placed it here, I would get to roll. Here I would get a charisma token, which isn't in the setup. Here I get to move this. And you just do what this says. Sometimes the symbols are just really simple, like get that or do that. But sometimes like that one, if you don't know how to play, then that gets confusing.
Yeah. And the whole point of this game is you're trying to build out this character. You don't actually, in Role Player, you don't actually use the character. But in Role Player Adventures that's coming out, you'll be able to use the characters and kind of the characters from this world. And this is just part of the whole world that Thunderworks has built with
the best gaming world.
Yes, with Role Player, Cartographers takes place in that world. They have so many games that fit into the same world and kind of the same mythology. But you're trying to, as you build out your dice and place your dice, you're trying to get the dice to add up to these places right here where your strength and dexterity and charisma add up to this, and you get stars based on getting close to this, and then this you get points for having dice in certain places where the colors of these places correspond with here. And then the wisdom, as you move this around in a certain direction based on your dice rolls, you either gain points or lose points. And then you're also purchasing cards that give you skills that open up abilities, things like that. But the whole point is you are building out this character in order to maximize your points and have the most points at the end of the game. And in this, again, you don't actually use the character yet, but you are building a cool character that you can use later.
The first thing I want to talk about is the cards. The market cards, I think, those are the cards that you are going to be using most in the game. There are traits, weapons, skills, armor, and these setup cards that you only use once in the game. Like, they're only used in setting up, and then you use them later.
So what is it that, because this is, like, you love this game. This is your favorite game?
Yes.
Okay, why is this your favorite game? What is it about this game that just does so much for you?
First, because of, like, you're creating characters, and because I know a lot about mythology, I know, like, how these characters on the player boards do things, and it just makes me feel so much more immersed in the game. Like, I feel like I'm actually making my character stronger and more powerful by getting these weapons and traits.
So it's not just the actual gameplay, you love the world that this exists in and the story of it.
I love, like, Cartographers is my second favorite, but this is my favorite because I am creating the character exactly how I want it to be, and I get to create my own character, like my otherworldly me.
And you actually, when we first played this, you actually took the characters that you were creating and like wrote backstory for them and stuff. Like, you had a lot of fun getting into the imagination and just kind of creating a world around just dice rolls and kind of tokens on a board.
Correct, but I don't like calling it that. I like calling it a character.
What do you like calling it?
A character.
But you don't like calling it a character?
No, I like calling it a character. You just said dice rolls and tokens on a board.
Okay. Yeah, but so you're taking that and you are creating a character from that, which I just think it's really cool that this, like, there's so much opportunity here to take it and kind of create a backstory in your head for this person. I love the idea of the role player adventures in those other games that that Thunderworks has that are going to allow you to take some of this into like deeper into that world. And does the monsters and minions, does that let you use these characters? Does that add a little more than just creating characters?
You are using the things that you have done to fight monsters and interrogate minions. Yes, that.
Okay.
I feel like if you had every expansion, you would be enough in role player adventures to have an adventure.
And we'll look at monsters and minions separate, but there is an opportunity already, even without role player adventures being out, there's already an opportunity to take this to the next step, to use the characters that you're creating and take them on an adventure, fight monsters, do things like that. So why should someone look at this game? Why should someone buy it? Why is it, what was it other than was it just the building characters, the mythology? What drew you to this game in the first place?
I honestly don't know. I just like this game.
Sometimes that happens. So why should someone look at this game? Why should a parent look at this game for their kids, or just as a family looking for a game? Why should they?
Well, there are some cards that have like small bits of things that might.
Yeah, like this one right here. We actually have a Can Kids Play video that Alice and I did for this, where we actually go through all of the cards, all of the concerning or possibly concerning things. So if you're looking at this and interested and wondering if it's gonna kind of fit the standards of your family and be a good fit for you from a parent's perspective, we have a whole video about that I'll link below.
Yeah, but you can take those cards out and it doesn't affect the game too much, other than 1 or 2 cards taken out. But there is no slaying things. You're just creating a character. You're creating your cool character, putting dice on it, making it stronger, getting points. There is no slaying, no fighting. Mm-hmm. To me, it's the perfect game.
Cool. That is a good endorsement. And each board, there's 6 different boards. Mm-hmm. Each board is a different species, I guess. There's dragons, there's dwarves, there's halflings, there's elves, there's humans, and there's orcs. And each of those kind of start out with a little bit of a different character set. The board works a little bit differently, and then you randomize these cards when you set up the game. So it's not like every time you play you're going for the exact same set of things. It's random because of the dice rolling, and it's random because you're changing up your goals for the game. So it is a very dynamic game from that sense too, that you're never playing the same game.
And one thing that I want to say, this is solo, which makes it even more my favorite game. And you're playing by yourself, but cards are taken with a dice. Like if I took a 1, nothing would happen. But if I took a 2 or a 3, I would roll the dice, and whatever I got, it would take some of the market cards, like someone else was reaching in and taking them instead of me.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never played solo of this game. Jared has many, many times. And if you saw, we did a video, or we didn't, Jared did a video with Jesse from Quackalope a couple weeks ago where he went through his top 5 solo games, and this was at the top of the list with that.
Very top.
Yes.
And the armor is another one of my favorite types of cards because it gives you points here based on how much of the set you have, because it protects you better, so you get more because it has a higher reputation. And it will give you extra points if you are the right class. So in our case, using the leather armor wouldn't get us extra points because we don't have the colors. But if I was black and he took the leather armor, he would get an extra point because he is the right class color.
Purple.
Yep, if he was black or purple.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're looking for a game, if you have played a bunch of roll and moves or pick up and deliver games, and you're looking for a game, especially if you have, and Jared is 11, about to be 12, but he's been playing this game for a few months. So if you have kind of that 10 to early teens and you're trying to introduce games that may be a little more complex, may have a little more of a dynamic gameplay than, again, like a roll and move or pick up and deliver kind of games, this might be a really great game to look at. If it's not age specific, as an adult, it's a great game. We love this game. Jared plays it all the time, and Peyton has even played it with him. Like Peyton at 7 and 8 can handle this game. Needs a little bit of the help with the cards, but he can handle the game too. It's not out of reach for him by any means.
And something that I just want to say, something that you should do after you play the game, draw a picture of your character and make a story about it.
Yes, you have a book of those, don't you?
Not a book, but...
A notebook?
Yes.
Small stack?
Yes. Just draw your character however you want it to be and make a story.
Yes, use your imagination. I love games like this that spark imagination and take you beyond the board and the table and really get you thinking and just coming up with things on your own. So anything else you want to say about it? Anything else you think people should know?
No, I think I've said all that needs to be said.
So, perfect game, nothing you don't like about it, nothing you would change, amazing in every way.
Yes.
I think that is a decent endorsement of it. Hopefully, people at Thunderworks will be satisfied with that review, that opinion on it. As a parent, I love this game. I've said it before multiple times, I love watching games cause my kids' imaginations to start working, to cause those gears to turn, and see them getting immersed in what is essentially cardboard and paper, to see them be able to go beyond that, go into a game and start, Jared wrote a whole backstory about how his character got that sword and some sort of as a teenager, he had to fight someone for it, it had this sword for a while. It was a deep story. It wasn't just like
my character has
my dragon hatched and now he's a dragon and he breathes fire. It was I loved watching this game spark his imagination.
Something that helped with that was the flavor text on the cards, there, and then especially the flavor text on the back.
Yes. Would you like to read the flavor text on the back?
Yes.
Okay.
Mighty heroes don't just appear out of thin air, they must be created. Race, class, assignment, skills, traits, and equipment are all elements of the perfect hero. Ready to take on the opposition in the quest for glory and riches? In Role Player, you compete with your opponents to create the greatest fantasy adventurer who has ever lived, preparing to embark on an epic quest.
Very good. So that's Role Player. It's from Thunderworks Games. We will leave links below to where you can find that if you want to try it out. Again, we did a Can Kids Play video where we break down from a parent's perspective the language dependence, the math required, the strategy involved, all of that, so you can take a deep dive into that and decide if it's a good fit for your kids, because you know your kids better than we do. But we'll leave links to all of that below. But for now, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see all of our new videos when they come out, and hit the bell once you hit the subscribe button so that you will be alerted when we post new videos.
And be sure to subscribe right there and watch our other videos over there.
I just said to subscribe right there.
No, you didn't. You missed that.
No, I said hit the subscribe button and I pointed.
No.
See you later.
Bye.